Hi everybody, I'm Kelly Brown. Welcome to Real Time, where we cook real food in a real kitchen on a real budget. And as many of you know, we are starting a series called 3 Ways, where we're going to take one chicken and make 3 different dinners out of it. So you can really stretch your budget for the week. The last episode, I taught my girls how to roast that chicken, and now we have our roasted chicken that we went ahead and ate and enjoyed with some rice and salad. And I'm going to take the leftovers and turn it into soup. So come on over. Alrighty, so here's our chicken that we ate. I mean, we really ate that guy, okay? We had 5 people, we ate this chicken up. But I'm going to boil the leftovers, and when I do that, I can get all of the meat off of the bone that you wouldn't even know was there. And then I have a big pot of chicken stock that I can make soup. So let's get it over to the sink and get some water. Now I have my chicken in this pot, and I've added to it 12 cups of water. The reason why I'm doing 12 cups is because you want about 2 cups of water per person that's going to be eating the soup. Plus I want an extra 2 cups to save for when I make my chicken pot pie. So to my water, I mean, really, you can just boil the chicken. It has some seasoning on it, but not a lot. So you definitely want to add some salt. I'm going to add, let's see, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, people really, I'm just kind of guessing. So add about a teaspoon of salt, and then you can always add more salt. You can't take it away. I'm also going to put maybe a half a teaspoon of black pepper and some fresh herbs. I've got some rosemary, some bay leaf, and some oregano that I got from my garden. You don't have to do this, but you can. It's kind of fun. It's called a bouquet garni, and it means a garden bouquet of herbs. And you just tie it up with some kitchen twine, throw it in there. If you don't have fresh herbs, don't worry about it. You can put some Italian seasoning or nothing. Just leave it like this, okay? So that's going in. Now all we have to do is cover it. I'm gonna bring it to a boil on high, okay? Because I want it to hurry up. And then after it's boiling, I'm gonna turn it down to low and let it just simmer with the top on for an hour. And then I'll meet you back here in an hour. Welcome back. Our chicken has been boiling for an hour on a low simmer. And now it's ready. We have delicious broth. Go look. What I did was I took the chicken out of the pot with these tongs. It's really hot, be careful. And then I used this strainer, put it in there like that, and I poured off the broth, and this strained out any little chunks and herbs from getting into my broth. So I have my 12 cups of broth plus the 2 that I'm saving for tomorrow. All right, so we'll save that. While this is cooling off, because I can't touch it yet, I'm going to wipe out my pot. It gets kind of this foamy stuff. It's kind of gross. So you wipe it out, bring it back over here, and we'll start our soup, okay? A little bit of olive oil in the bottom, and then let me show you what I have over here to put in it. I will be using some garlic, some carrots, some mushrooms, cherry tomatoes, some collard greens, some cannellini beans, and I use potato gnocchi, which is just a potato dumpling. So basically this is just my cheater dumplings, okay? And if you don't like collards, if you want to use a different green like arugula or spinach or really any kale, any kind of green that's sturdy that you can cook, use it, or don't use any greens. It doesn't matter. If you don't like mushrooms, don't put mushrooms. I'm using beans and saving that chicken meat because I want to use that chicken meat for a 3rd meal. You could certainly get rid of the beans and just have 2 meals and use your chicken meat if you want chicken soup. You could use rice instead of this, you could use pasta instead of this, but the one thing you really have to remember is that all of these things have a different cooking time. So for example, when I chop up my carrots take about 10 minutes to cook. The gnocchi and the collards take 2 minutes to cook. So I'll show you my process for these ingredients, but honestly, you really could just dump that broth back in the pot and then just put whatever you want in there and boil it for a little bit, okay? I mean, it won't be excellent, but it will be good enough to eat. So we'll do it my way, like Frank Sinatra, and then you can make some adaptations that fit your needs. All right, so I prepped all my vegetables. I've got the stems off my mushrooms, I got the stems off my collards, and I peeled my carrots, but I washed them first. Now what do I do with this? Throw it in the trash? Maybe. Throw it in the composter? Maybe, but that never worked out for me. So what I do is I save it in the freezer. Every time I have a vegetable scrap, I put it in a Ziploc, I put it in the freezer, and save it until I have a full Ziploc, and then I boil that and strain that off, and you have vegetable broth. You can put in big jars, mason jars, keep it in the freezer, keep it in the fridge for a little while, and use it for soups, or if you're making rice, you can use it instead of water. You reserve a little bit of those nutrients and a lot of flavor, so don't throw this out, all right? Now come on over here. We have our garlic starting to sizzle. I've got a big clove of garlic in there. Fresh garlic is always delicious in soups and sauces, but if you don't have it, just remember the holy trinity of seasoning is salt, pepper, and garlic powder. You can just put that straight into your soup. I want you to taste your broth and see if it needs salt. Taste your broth and see if what you think it needs. Does it need a little more pepper? Does it need a little more garlic? You can just add it little by little till it tastes good to you, okay? So we'll get this going, and then what we'll do is start adding things in the order how long it needs to cook, alrighty? So these need to cook about 10 minutes. These need to cook about 2 minutes. And this, you really could do it for any amount of time because it's going to break down. The beans and the gnocchi go in at the very end, and we're done. All right, so our vegetables are boiled and our beans and gnocchi are in there. Our gnocchi floated to the top, and that means they're done. So you don't want to overcook those. Now what you've got to do is test it for seasoning. Like I said, you really can make this anything you want. You can put, let's say you put corn and tomatoes in there. You could turn it into a tortilla soup by adding cumin to it. You know, just, you can be creative and use whatever you've got in your fridge. If you don't like this gnocchi idea, then rice takes 20 minutes to boil, so you'd boil it in there for 20 minutes and you'd add your carrots at 10 minutes and then so on and so on, okay? If you have any questions about how long something takes to cook in a soup, just leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you. But we're gonna check this for salt. So you just get yourself a little spoon. It's actually pretty good on the salt. So I used 2 teaspoons for this big pot. Remember I told you I was just guessing? Okay, people really, I'm just kind of guessing. It tastes pretty good on the salt. If someone wanted a little bit more, they could put a little bit more, but I really don't think it needs any more. So what we're gonna do is serve up some dinner. You can have your little bowl of soup with your nice crust of bread and have a great meal. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.